Hey guys, welcome back from Tampa Bay. Today I've got a review of the 2016 Yamaha XSR900. Now think of this guy as pretty much an FJ09 in a more standard frame with a lot of refinements. I'm excited to try this. The FJ09 kind of has a reputation for being a little raw, especially in the throttle response area. And this is supposed to have some nice improvements. It has, over the FJ09, a slipper clutch. Let these guys go first here. An upgraded, or updated I should say, suspension. And some better electronics. It's got 3 rider modes, A, B, and standard. I'm in standard right now. I'm going to put it in A, which is the most aggressive or linear as far as throttle response. Full power, pretty much what I'm used to in the FJR with sport mode. So right away, feels exactly like the FJ09 as far as the seating position. It's fairly comfortable. The seat is better. It's still kind of on the firm side and surprisingly a little bit wide. However, my nuts aren't slammed into the tank like they are on the FJ. So that's an improvement. A lot of torque. Wants to raise the front suspension very easily, at least in first and second there. Now I've got traction control on. I'm not going to pull it off. If you do turn it off, it becomes a wheelie monster. This triple is known for its extremely smooth power delivery. Now I'm judging the throttle response here, and it is a little bit smoother than the FJ09. It's noticeable. Not that I thought it was anything obnoxious to begin with. Now I had a Gen 2 FJR 1300, which also had quite the reputation for a snatchy throttle. So I'm kind of used to that. It never really bothered me on the FJ09, but this is completely in line with any other modern bike. You don't notice anything odd, so I'm glad they fixed that. Transmission is very slick. Tiny little bit of a snick as you put it into gear. Quite a squishy, springy suspension. It reminds me a lot of the BMW, what is it, the XS1000R, kind of like their half adventure, half sport bike. This has that same feel. It's very tall. I'm standing up now and my seat is still firmly planted. There is zero clearance, and I've got a 32-inch inseam. I'm 250 pounds. That's the FJ09 right in front of me, by the way. Very nice neutral handling. Seating position is when you're moving and you have some air on you, very neutral. Not quite a sit-up and bag. There is a slight forward lean. When you're braking or standing still, you do have that little bit of a lean, but going down the road like this, with the air pressure, no problems. It's not exactly easy to put my hands up because they hit my mirrors. These mirrors are very far back. I have to turn my head a little bit to see them. I can't just glance with my eyes. That's how close they are to me. Position is pretty good. I do see a lot of my arm in them though. They're very clear. There's no vibration. Just noticed they switched up the staggering there. I love the dash. This is exactly how I wish the Bolt was. A very similar appearance, just a single pod. This is absolutely the highest resolution, clearest display I think Yamaha has, except on the R1, where it's full color. This is absolutely flawless. I don't see any pixels. Everything is bright, easily readable at a glance. I've got a big gear selector right in the top. You've got the passive eco display, which just means that you're being easy on the throttle. You got your mode selection, a big speedometer. and a very fast updating digital tachometer that goes around the ring. The fast updating is important. When they lag, I just don't like it. Number one, it says it's not that high performance, but number two, I don't like the physical lag of not knowing exactly where I am. Some of these bikes, like this engine, rev very, very quickly. And when you put a slow gauge, match it with that kind of engine, I don't get it. Turn-in's very neutral. Now the preload is up on this a little bit, and it's dealing with my weight, no problem. Soaking up what little bumps are in this road. There's no vibration. This is very smooth through the bars, through the pegs, through the seat, just going through the RPMs here. A little bit of a peg vibration as we go up in the RPMs, but everything's staying nice and calm. Now we switched again. I'm barely touching the throttle, and it just wants to lunge me forward. I don't know if you guys can see it. The actual RPM numbers are small, but because it's high res, I can still read them. I mean, they are microscopic numbers. We're at 5,000 RPM right now. And it just goes. The front end just wants to raise sky high. Just touching the throttle. Absolutely beautiful power delivery. Now, comfort. Not the best in the world. Number one, the seat is on the firm side. Can't say how good this would be on a long distance cruise. It's not really meant for that. However, the leg position. Whew, man, first gear just has gobs of power. I accidentally hit the horn there because it's really close to the turn signal button. There is no way anyone is getting more than half throttle in first gear. It's not possible. This thing will just flip. It's got that short of a gearing and that much torque and that lightweight and that short of a wheelbase. It's that kind of bike. Second gear, turn off the traction control, you're doing the same thing. No way you could full throttle it with traction control off. And I'm a heavy guy. Love the way it feels. But as I was saying, leg comfort, not for me. My legs are digging into this tank. This hard, sharp seam right here is right through my kneecap. It is just too far back of a tank, and the cutout is too small. Very uncomfortable. I would have to stick on some big soft pads or something. I mean, that would... It's a pressure point right now, and I'm 10 minutes into the ride. And the seat, yeah, I'm not a fan of the forward angle. It's comfortable as in my butt doesn't have a pressure point, but it's not gripping me at all. It's pretty hard on my tailbone. And it's wide right through the thighs. Very much like the FJR is, but this seat is hard as a rock. So it digs into my inner thighs. And I'm a tall guy. I have no space. I'm standing up now. And the bike is still wanting to raise up underneath. So I'm not sure who they're designing these bikes for. But they're very tall people. Let me put it that way. Bar width is very good. Completely neutral position. Controls are excellent. Clutch is very light. Almost no resistance. It's not quite as light as the Super Tenere, but I would say other than that, this is the lightest clutch Yamaha has. Very easy to pull. You can do it with one finger. Brakes, same thing, effortless. Everything falls in the right position. The shifter peg and the rear brake peg and pedal are falling exactly where they should be for my height. Everything's in the neutral position. And it is very comfortable to sit here at a light. There's nothing that hits my legs at all. They're straight down other than the little bit of width from the seat. But if you are vertically challenged, this would be a little annoying to you. Let's try a roll on here in third. Plenty of torque. Just goes. Let's go up into top gear. Nice smooth 6. Oh, it doesn't care. At 50 miles an hour, we're at 3,500 RPM. And it'll roll on without any problems. Butter smooth here in top gear, just cruising around town. Soaking up all the road imperfections. Very smooth. It does have quite a bit of nosedive when you brake. But then again, it does not have a stiff, sporty suspension. This is more of an all-around touring type suspension. Kind of in between that and an adventure. Now the design, that's going to be personal preference. I'm going to call this an industrial retro design. It is not just a retro design like the new CBR 1100, because it's got all these weird looking things like the fake weight saving aluminum braces. Some of them are just facades. And then you have the big electrical boxes that are just bolted on the outside, just kind of like, oh, we need a place to put them. And then the radiator. That, I'm sorry, but that radiator sticks out like a sore thumb. It looks too big for the engine, especially where it's placed. And then this cheap looking, like 1980s Honda Civic looking cap just sitting out there in a little raw tube. It doesn't look good. And it dominates the front end of this bike. If they would have at least made everything black, but no, they put these silver fake brush guards on the outside of it that just call attention to it. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the looks. But as far as the performance goes, I like it a lot better than the FZ09. The engine is the shining star of the show, and that only got better with this new throttle tuning and the suspension. So there you go. There's your review of the 2016 Yamaha XSR900. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.